Hello everyone, I'm very excited today because recently I found my old travel journals from 1997 and I really want to share them with you today. 1997, that's 27 years ago. I was only 26 years old. Today I'm 53, and looking back, I am amazed at the kind of trip that I took when I was at that age. My daughter is almost my age at that time now, and I cannot imagine her going through all that. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't allow her to do that. I would be terribly worried if she did. But I never thought of myself as being courageous or adventurous, and this has proven me wrong. And the other thing I realized is that I am so lucky because I got to visit a lot of countries while they were still very authentic, China and Tibet in particular. I will start with the chapter on Tibet because I think that's the most exciting part of the travel. But I will be doing all the other parts as well. I have a few journals, so I hope that as I take my journey back in time that you will come along with me. The strange thing is that at that time I was not really looking for places that were authentic. I was not really looking for even travel. I was looking to escape from my life, and therefore it's a very painful journey for me to relive, but also one that is very healing, and therefore I want to take it. I have typed up my journals onto my computer because the memories are so precious and I don't want to lose them. And I'm going to read one of them to you now from the computer. So this one was written on the 30th of July in 1997 in Kashgar. And it was written in my hotel called Seman, S-E-M-A-N hotel. So this is what I wrote. I went to Tashkurgan the day before yesterday. The scenery was stunning. I don't remember much of it. I'm going to include pictures wherever I can. In those days, there weren't any digital cameras. I had a camera with film, and the film wasn't very good quality, so my pictures were very faded. I will share some of my pictures here with you. I will also share some taken by my friends. They have been very generous and offered to share their pictures with me. I will also use some from the internet if I can't find any from either myself or my friends. So let me continue reading. I stayed a night there in Tashkurgan and shared a room with a Japanese guy. I think in those days and times it was very normal to share a room. There were big rooms with many beds. He rented a jeep the next day to go to the Kunjarat Pass and asked me to join him, but I declined. Came back to Kashgar with York instead. So I was traveling with this guy, a German guy called York, and his friend called Carlston. We are still in touch. In fact, I just had a Zoom call with him a few days ago, and it's really nice to be still in touch with him. Upon arrival at Seman Hotel, so in brackets I wrote, I got a free ride from the bus station from two Chinese soldiers. They're very friendly and it's very surprising. I always thought that soldiers would be very stern and hostile, but I met lots and lots of really friendly soldiers. I got a bed in a 6-bedded dorm for 20 yuan. As I said before, it's very normal to get a bed in a dorm. 20 yuan is about, I don't know, maybe 2 USD. And I didn't have a lot of money in those days. I had like maybe 2,500 USD. And I was backpacking for a year on that little money. So I would always get the cheapest option. So I said here, I got a bed in a 6-bedded dorm for 20 yuan as the 15 yuan dorm was full. If it wasn't, I would have gotten the cheapest one for sure. I met a Japanese girl who told me about a German guy who had left the same day for Lhasa via the Xinjiang-Tibet route. So this was the route that I had been contemplating for a long time. I read about it. I tried to find information about it. But in those days, it was very difficult to find any information. Most of the information came from the Lonely Planet or people who you met on the road, and I would try to gather scraps of information from here and there, and this was the one scrap of information that I got, that this German guy had left for that route that I wanted to take. That route is not legal and it is very dangerous, so that's why I was not sure whether I wanted to do it. But when I heard, let me read this part first. That was when I decided I wanted to do the same. Yeah, so when I heard that somebody did it, that was a sign for me that I wanted to do it too. And I wish that I had been there a day earlier so that I could have done it with this guy and I didn't have to do it alone, because obviously I was quite nervous doing it alone. So a Korean guy, in brackets, his name is Bin, B-E-E-N, as in the past participle of is, from my dorm said he wants to do the same route. So it looks like we will be doing it together. So I wouldn't be doing it alone after all. Today I did some shopping for the trip. I bought a huge army coat. In brackets, I wrote down, it will be cold. Yeah, obviously. I don't know what Kashgar is like today, but in those days, you wouldn't be able to buy fleece or anything like that. My best option was an army coat that was huge and thick and bulky. It was really hard to carry around. I also bought a large gunny sack, so a rice sack to be used as a sleeping bag. I didn't have any of those things. I had a very light backpack, and I think it was only 6 kilograms. I had like 3 sets of clothes. I had some toiletries. I had my Lonely Planet, some medication, and that's about it. Okay, I also bought some dried food, which consisted of raisins and nuts. In Kashgar, in the marketplace, lots of people sold raisins, all sorts of raisins, all different colors and types, and nuts as well. So I bought bags of them, kilograms of them, because I wasn't sure whether I would get any food along the way. I wrote York left at 7 p.m. for the airport. He will be meeting his sister in Beijing. I'm really nervous about doing this route. I hope I make it. I really believe at that time that I might not make it. There were stories about people who did not make it. I was a bit worried, but I also didn't care. I think I had a death wish at that time. As I said to you before, I was escaping life. I think you will know more about this as we go along. And I wasn't afraid of death. I thought that if I died, then I died. Nobody would miss me anyway, so it didn't make a difference. But what worried me was that I had some diaries back home, and I wrote to my sister to tell her that if I didn't make it, could she please burn my diaries for me. So I had a very troubled childhood, and I wrote many of my painful experiences in my diaries. I think they were the only reasons why I didn't break down, because I had someone to talk to. And so I wrote to my sister to tell her to burn my diaries if I didn't make it, if I died along the way, that I don't want my diaries to embarrass me or the family. Anyway, that's the end of that entry, which was written on the 30th of July 1997. I will try and insert some photos, any more details if I remember them, and I will do the next entry next time. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.
So here are some photographs that York sent to me recently. If you don't remember, York is the German guy that I was traveling for a while with, and then he went off to see his sister. So he took some really good photographs. So these are photographs of Kashgar. You can see that he has very high quality photographs compared to mine. I had films that were not very good, and my photos are already fading, but I think his are taken on slides. You can see that Kashgar is very Muslim, and even though they have Chinese words, they also have Muslim words everywhere. And the people they don't look Chinese, even though Kashgar is in China. Kashgar is actually part of Xinjiang, which is the Muslim part of China. You can see that they have these Muslim hats, and they actually eat a lot of Muslim food, like I'm not sure what they're called, but they are very similar to kebabs. And you can see the infrastructure is very, very Muslim. The people also look Middle Eastern rather than Chinese. So they are not happy about being in China. You can see the women, they also look very Middle Eastern. In fact, I bought ice cream from a man that had blonde hair and blue eyes. I was so surprised. So the marketplace is always very lively and they always have watermelons because it's so hot. And even drinking water does not refresh you, only watermelon does. And I remember it was about 0.2 yuan. So like, I don't know, 2-3 cents for a slice of watermelon. So you can see modern technology and traditional ways coexisting side by side. You will see lots of interesting sites in Kashgar. So when I was going to Kashgar, I remember somebody telling me that there was conflict going on and I shouldn't go, it was dangerous, but it was relatively safe when I was there. So here you can see more watermelons again. Animals put to work. And they have their Muslim hats again. And here they have their kebabs. And in Malaysia, we call them satay. So again, women with covered heads, animals at work. More interesting sights. Lots of meat in Kashgar. And bread. And they're quite tasty. You can see lots of Arabic letters. More bread, fruits, women with covered heads. So you can see their features, they don't look very Chinese. Outdoor barber and dentist. That looks like a mosque. And here they are saying their prayers. Very colorful buildings. This is the marketplace. When I had to buy food supplies for my journey, so things like raisins and nuts, I came here. Shoes as well. I think I might have bought my army jacket from one of these places. Necessities. I don't have any of my own pictures of Kashgar, only York's, but I do have this one, which is a sneak peek into my next video. So I hitched a ride on this truck. It's a rice truck. There are lots of bags of rice behind here and I sat on them. You can see my backpack here. I think this is Bin's backpack and it was really hard getting a ride. I will tell you all about it in the next video. So remember to like, subscribe and get notified and see you soon.
If you would like to come on this journey with me, which I hope you will, remember to like, subscribe and get notified, and I will see you next week.